Oh, y'all waiting on me?
Yeah, what you gonna do?
It's I was still in the place when you talking about the class and like how you might be here and then you may attach yourself to someone else, whether it's through marriage or certain relationships, and then you bring new energies or a different energy that adds to well, it can only add to. It doesn't really take away. It adds to the dynamic of what you have going on. It's almost like you're in school and then a teacher called you to assist to do something over here, but your task at that moment was to go do this, but now you have to sideline and now you have like a special project.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's understanding everything is connected and everything is for your growth.
Right.
Whew. So I guess we have to go before and after to the best of our ability.
Before death, after death.
Before death, after death, which is technically one and the same thing.
Which is one and the same thing.
Right.
And I'm basing things off of my spiritual communication with what we would consider non-physical beings, those that are deceased. Also, from certain books, I have them here. I'm gonna call out some of the names of the people who wrote them, but also speak a little bit about what's in them, and then at the very end, we could remind me to go over the name of these books again.
Right.
So these two are the same authors, but you have Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss, MD. He's a psychiatrist, and he pretty much started, doing hypnotic suggestions, and eventually it seems like it always starts off this way. They're doing hypnotic suggestions to help somebody overcome some type of habit, and then they kind of go, if it's possible, too far back, and then this person is identifying as somebody completely different.
Right.
And it talks about past lives, but also as he's done this for thousands of people, he started seeing patterns that are pretty much similar or the same. And then on top of that, he was able to get into a space where he can get between lives or between incarnations, or what this soul was doing before they incarnated in a physical body, in a particular physical body.
Right.
This is a really good book. If anybody wants to, he has several books. And the other book I have is Same Soul, Many Bodies, again by Brian L. Weiss. And the title is exactly what it says. Same soul, many bodies. So that's the name of this author. And like I said, I'm going to go into some of. I'm not going to tell you the exact stories, but what the principles of these books are. This is Memories of the Afterlife. I haven't read this yet, but the author, I bought it so I can remember his name, is Michael Newton, PhD. Also, someone that was trying to do hypnotic regressions and went back to the in-between, which we would call before incarnation or after an incarnation.
Right.
And it's Many Lives, Many Masters is the actual. Excuse me. That's the one I bought for you. What was that?
No, you talking about Journey of Souls.
Journey of Souls is the actual first book that he wrote that I read, and that captivated me. That was the first wholesale in between live book that I read, or memoirs about that. Another person is Edgar Cayce.
Yeah, I was bringing up
Anything Edgar Cayce, it gets into the spirit, the soul. This particular one is the story of Jesus, and it's talking about the soul that people know as Jesus or Yeshua, and how he's been, just like you and I, been through many different incarnational cycles all the way to the beginning.
right.
And finally, I don't have one of her books here, but Dolores Cannon.
Right.
She was a hypnotic suggestion therapist, and she also came up with her own system of therapy or regressions. I think it's quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT, and she's considered like the godmother of hypnotism.
Yeah.
So
I will listen to her today.
going on, I don't know if anybody wanted to go or you wanted me to kind of like get the gist of like the different understandings of pre-incarnation, post-incarnation.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we can go there.
So the reason why we're bringing this to you, the audience, is like we said in the hiatus. I have family members or connections that have people that passed away, including you yourself. You've over the last year, me over the last year personally, and it's knowing that I'm in a different space when it comes to the topic of death or what we
Right.
perceive as death,
Right.
and then seeing other people go
Through it.
like a heaviness, a grieving, a fear of death. And even though it's something that's inevitable as far as we know it to be in this realm.
Right.
And it's like, well, what is causing this fear or apprehension about this thing? And I know in the East, India and certain places, they're actually traditionally anyway. I'm not speaking about a lot of it's modernized, but traditionally they were taught from the youth growing up the understanding of there is no true
Right.
dying.
Yeah. Right.
So it's not a fear of it. It's like when you get into your older age, it's a more of a preparation and welcoming the shedding of this old vehicle and moving into the spirit and possibly picking up a new vehicle.
Right. Right. I think a lot of our understanding that's in the West really comes from a religious base of religious doctrine that has been put forth to put fear in people sometimes, which is, I don't teach people to fear anything. But some people teach death as a fear-based tactic to get them to do what they do.
And I think that it even it drives a hypersensitive it's a hypersensitive mechanism for self-preservation. So like, you got to do all these things in this cuz you might not have all this time.
Right.
Right? So you got to work so you can, get a good this and a good that, and you got to put yourself through so much. Right? Just for a temporary extension, or where you make a decision really to close yourself off from the living. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like several religious epochs have really cultivated the awareness of the human being to not really understand the aspect of existence, right? The more pervasive thing that we attach ourselves to are the material recognitions of this experience. So I gotta get it, and that's what equates to living, right?
Right.
Not necessarily captivating an awareness in, okay, well, this is a mission that I've been on, right? This is my life's purpose, and I've been working on this for years and years and years and years, right? You might tap into that when you go into the astral state or something like that, and the astral state is nothing more than you essentially you wake up in the other realm, right? Many souls, different bodies, right? It's just as real as when you come back to this realm.
Or a dream. What we consider a dream is just as real as when you come back here.
And you haven't, we're not coherent in awareness, right? There's a huge gap where, all this stuff is happening in this other realm, right? You're not really picking it up. You're not, you don't retain the memory, you don't retain the information, right? And you come back over here to this realm and it's like, dang, okay, well, what happened? Why did I go there?
Right.
Just to add, I had a little things to what Malaki was saying. It's also a form of it's how can I say? I'm gonna say a form of control, which builds upon the ego, which the ego tries to keep you here.
Right.
It's more. It's not necessarily shooting you to truer spiritual endeavors. It's more of being more in the physical. So going back to the religious institutions, if that institution controls your idea or understanding of what we consider life and death,
Right.
right, and then they can get you to a place of believing this is your one and only life or opportunity to get it right, whatever right is. Right. And we are the givers of the way you should live.
Right.
You know, the more good things you do, we can bless you, and maybe in your blessing you can live longer.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if you don't do it, what we say, you know, this one life, you lose it.
Right.
And it's the end.
It's the end.
And then to reinforce that, we have concepts of heaven and hell.
Yeah.
And we might, if we have opportunity, we get into what these things really are.
Right.
To our understanding.
Yeah.
But and then you have the not political world. That's not what I want to look at. We live in a capitalistic society. So if the concept of this one life, you know, YOLO, you only live once. I got to get it. So it goes back to what you said. I got to work hard. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it's more for getting this quick. I got to experience everything before it's over.
Right.
But you know, again, man, like if your perception turns from a lack of understanding to analysis, right? Mm-hmm. I would encourage you to say, well, you know, why aren't you dead in the other realm?
That's a good question, bro.
When you go there.
Yeah. That's
first of all, you got to believe in the other realm.
I mean, well,
because most people are not thinking about another realm. They're thinking about heaven and hell.
I got you,
which is another realm. But they look at it as a good realm and an evil realm.
It's to me, it's a disconnection from an awareness, right? Because if you've ever dreamed before, right, you know, if what people say about, you know, their control over, you know, what is supposed to happen with the soul, right, based on a place that you've never been, right, you know, the same should hold true in the other realm when you go there. You know what I'm saying? Logically, like, you know, if I take how people analogize this, right, it should follow in other places.
Yeah. So that's interesting, though. That's a good one. That would be a good question for someone. But like you say, some people don't even believe that in a dream state they're somewhere else. But where are you?
I'm just dreaming.
I'm just dreaming.
That's the word to dismiss the what that really
what is
potentially that? Could be. Information that's been given to you. You know, it could be premonition in the dream state. It could be anything.
Yeah.
You know, but because we're not, it's more of a living for the other world. We're living here now to attain some future blessing or whatever the case may be, when you can actually attain that here.
Exactly.
But you have to do the spiritual work. You have to balance your what we would consider the physical or metaphysical, or the physical and spiritual. Mm-hmm. It's work. Yes. And we've talked about it in other podcasts. You know, you have to do the inner work. And as you do the inner work, you can attain your peace or your equanimity here, which prepares you for when you transition.
Yeah, exactly.